got through the day safely. Um, I'm standing near my window because I don't have really good Wi-Fi in my apartment. So I wanted to share a journal excerpt of something that I wrote a while ago, and it's on goth life. Hopefully, you guys can see me a little better now. So, 2016 was the year that I began living and embracing the gothic lifestyle. I had personally enjoyed some horror flicks, Addams Family, and punk rock and alternative music with a dark edge, but was still in the process of finding myself in my own identity. It was the year I took my mother and sister to court and got an order of protection because I found out that they were engaging in elder abuse against my grandmother. They in turn became hostile and got orders of protection to retaliate against me for getting the one I had. So it was this whole thing in court, and at the end of it, um, it eventually ended up circling back around, and it became this big thing. But we went through a lot of drama, and at the end of it all, everything ended up being stopped. Orders of protection ended. I was the last one to have an order of protection against my mother. During that time, my grandmother had also obtained an order of protection against my mom. And because of her abusive behavior, she assaulted my grandmother, who ended up having a mini stroke because of the stress, and she ended up dying 2.5 weeks later. I had lost the last person I felt truly loved and cared for me in the family. I was in grief, and I began to wear black from that point, in remembrance of her and to express grief and sadness. The same year, I had to end up cutting ties with my father after coming to the realization that after all the years of, him becoming clean from drugs and alcohol, that he was also still abusive. He tried to attack me during an argument on Christmas Eve, and he tried to use God and religion to taunt me. So I ended up having to go no contact, and I basically became fatherless. I mean, he's my dad and everything, but in terms of having a relationship with him, that ended. So during this time of extended grief, I began to realize who I really was within activities. The world is not always a happy place. It can be dark, dismal, chaotic, and sometimes sad. Gothic people are aware and embrace it instead of denying it. I realized the similarities. I not only went Gothic within me, but I was probably always Goth. My trauma, my suffering, my Susie and the Banshees and Bats in the Belfry, and began listening to more bands and the music. Black had always been my favorite color. My faith in Christ has been the candle lit to see my way forward. I could no longer people please or for those who were creative, music addicts, dark, edgy, and liked bizarre and unconventional and even artistic things. I always was, I just didn't realize it. And sometimes circumstances can help you discover who you really are. So I wrote that um, I wrote that journal excerpt a couple of years ago when I was thinking about the lifestyle that I live and the identity, that I profess to have. And um, yeah, and you're right. Yes, hello. Oh, I didn't know that people are on the live. Hello, people. How are you? Yes, God is the real Father. You're absolutely right. Sunborn, Bro 67. Yeah, how you doing, boy? FN. What's up? Like I said, I'm just thinking about, the community and the experience of being goth. And I think not enough people talk about it and talk about, the circumstances that led them there. Me, I'm just really, really honest about what led me there. I just feel like you know, my life is pretty much an open book, and I just don't feel like I need to go around hiding that, since this is a part of the identity that I profess. So, with this heat wave, I hope that everybody stays safe. Make sure that you drink enough water. Make sure that, you have enough electrolytes. If you can stay cool, stay indoors, stay cool. And please, remain safe. And I hope that everybody keeps their head up and keeps the faith. All right? There'll be more content later. Peace, everybody.